I'm setting off here at Two Lakes Trail in Tell City, Indiana. It's a 15-mile hike. I plan to do the whole thing, and we'll potentially double back and do some extra mileage tomorrow. Starting out as a single overnight, but if I get really motivated, maybe I'll turn it into two. Here's my truck. I'm at the trailhead. Here the trail goes. I'll go the southbound loop here, with the first leg of it being 9 miles. Guess I can show you the map here. So I'll be walking along this way, with Indian Lake being my first water refill point. I'm 33, weigh about 250 pounds, and I have a 39.6 pound pack, which is a lot, mainly because of the ham radio gear I'm carrying, which I'm planning to do Parks on the Air activations throughout this trip. When I do the AT, I will have a much lighter radio loadout by hopefully learning Morse code by then. It is raining right now. It looks like it'll rain off and on all day and tomorrow, but that's part of it. And it's pretty nice out right now. All right, I'm gonna get to it. As you can hear, it is currently raining, which was to be expected. I knew that it was going to rain, and it rained a good portion of the morning too. But it's very calm, very light rain, falling straight down, not a lot of wind, no thunder, lightning, or anything like that. So the setup I have with my hammock and this tarp is working really well. I've stayed completely dry throughout all of it so far. I did get up once to adjust my hammock, and it's more comfortable, but in doing so I adjusted my underquilt, and now I have a little bit of a cold spot on my back. It's nothing too bad. I think I'll be okay. And good morning. Last night was eventful. I ended up getting some really good sleep eventually, but I tossed and turned for a long time. I guess mentally, because you can't really toss and turn in a hammock too well. My shelter ended up leaking. It was mainly the rain coming through the tarp, or condensation on the inside. So at that point, I decided to go ahead and just get in the sleeping bag and try to force myself to get to sleep, which worked. I wasn't using the bag except to lay on because it was a little warm, but as the rain started coming through, it finally started to get pretty cold, and I got in the bag and just did some breathing exercises, and I actually got to sleep. It was nice. But I'll kind of show you my setup here. Well, first of all, I'm on the lake. Gonna refill some water before I leave this area. Probably another 1.5 liters to get out of here. Maybe 2, we'll see. Here is my shelter. Got everything set up on these trees. Got my ridge line, which worked out really well. The way I did my rain fly is like that, and then I had these coming out to these rocks here where it would just clip in. Same on the other side. It actually worked really well. I think with just that amount of rain, I mean, it was a couple inches worth of rain. You know, it's hard. All right, well, I am all packed up and about to get back on the trail. It's 55 here this morning, which is pleasant, good hiking weather. It's definitely overcast and gray, but the colors of the woods make it nicer. And I'm kind of happy to be in a t-shirt right now. But I will get going here soon, but wanted to play a song. It's one I'm working on writing. Been working on it for the bagpipes, but I think it sounds really good on this. So maybe I will. Oh, I can play it on both. In fact, this is a whistle that is tuned the same as the Great Highland Pipes in D, and it's fingered the same. So there's the same amount of holes as you would have on a Great Highland bagpipe. So just a little fun thing to have while I'm out here. I'm sure the animals loved it. Not so much the hunters, but you know, so it goes. All right, well, we are underway about 1/10 of a mile up the trail from where I camped. It was a massive hill. I think most of the elevation gain that happens on this trail happened just there. But it feels good. Gets you warmed up real quick. And a real nice trail here this morning. You know, sometimes you keep walking and you get that feeling like, am I on the trail? And sometimes yes, sometimes no. I've been walking through this patch here, which I think is just a clearing from, they're doing some forest work out here, trying to revitalize it from farmland like 80 years ago, but it takes a while. But then every now and then you see far there in the distance, probably zoom in a little better. I don't know how to do that, so never mind. Anyway, there's a white blaze there far in the distance, and it's always a comforting sight to know that, yes, you are on the right trail. All right, that's where I'm at. And noticing here, Two Lakes Trail is what I'm doing, back where I came from, off going that way. But there's still the America Discovery Trail, which I looked that up last night, and it goes coast to coast, connecting a bunch of parks together. That would be pretty cool to attempt. Surprisingly, through Indiana, it goes north to south, back and forth quite a bit, but it seems to cover most of Indiana, from Kentucky up to Chicago area. So maybe someday that'd be something. Nice big trail too. This must have been a process to make out here in the middle of the woods. Super cool though. Very pretty. There's a lot more flowing water this morning than yesterday due to all the rain we got. Now this road I came down, I'm guessing it's an old logging road. That's what it seems like, which means that this bridge probably at one point you were able to drive across, which would explain the heavy infrastructure here. but they've replaced it with this nice little footpath bridge. So. Oh, and another blaze there. Oh, no, you're on the right path. So I'm going that way. Oh, I gotta say, pine needles are the best thing to walk on, especially after all the rocks and roots. This is nice. Sometimes you just don't have an option. You can look downstream, upstream, try to find some rocks or a log or something. Other times it's easier just to plod right through and end up with wet feet. Came from that side and then had to go up this real steep bank here. And I continue on with wet feet. And here's another. Looks like if I were to go down there, I could probably walk on rocks for most of it and then just have like 1 or 2 steps, maybe 3 in the water. Whereas here, I'm looking at 12 steps probably with water up to my shins. So my feet are already wet, but they're not terrible. So I think I'm gonna go try over there. It's not that far off trail. And looking at the ground, it would seem that other people have tried the same thing here. Woods trash. It's such a shame. There was a bunch of trash on the trail back a ways ago, including campsites that had piles of garbage. I picked up what I could, but my pack is only so big. Oh yeah, this is a well-worn trail over here. Others definitely had the same idea. Yeah. Now we're talking. Everything is so slick from the water. Alright, that's like rapids over there. I mean, tiny, but rapids nonetheless. So it'd be better here or over there. Let's go over here. Get my trekking poles situated here. It's hard to film and use trekking poles at the same time. Oh yeah, that was like 1.5 steps actually in the water. Now I know what you're thinking. How do you do 1.5 steps? But it was that my heel went in the water and not my toe. Okay, back to hiking. Here's the trail picking right back up. Well, when I said most of the elevation on the trail was that one hill, I was wrong. I should have known. That was a very long hill with no switchbacks. It was good though. Back onto the gravel road, and there's my truck and the trailhead. Today went a lot quicker. It's an excellent hike though. Pretty muddy, slippery, but it's a really good time. Here's my truck. I ran into 2 other hikers out there. I'm guessing this is theirs. They were hauling. I don't know if they're planning to overnight or not, but they were moving, and knowing what they just walked up after I met them, they're pretty on it. Okay. Cool. Well, that was excellent. Another good hike in the books. I really enjoyed the scenery and a bit of a challenge. There's a lot of ups and downs I didn't expect, but it was good. Ooh. You can see how much it rained last night based on the water level in my truck. It poured, and my hammock setup worked pretty good. It did get wet towards the end, but at that point, just crawl in the bag, get as tight as you can, and go to sleep. Because what are you gonna do? So, okay. Well, with this in the books, I sign out.